Good afternoon, mathematicians. I wanted to bring another math activity to you today. Again, like with all the activities that I'm trying to show and share, this is an activity that players of different math ability levels could work on together, or it's an activity that a mathematician might work on their own. If, as a parent, you're looking for a way to sort of check to see what your child is doing when they're working on these activities because you've got a lot of other things that you need to be doing at the same time, the best way for them to do it is to write down on any type of scrap paper that they have some of the work that they're doing and some of the things that they're seeing. If you do have an opportunity to work together, you can still record the ways, but another great thing is just to have some math conversation. One of the best ways to build your math mind is to hear from other mathematicians, to hear their thinking and to see the things that they're doing. So the activity that we're going to do this afternoon is going to require that you have 2 dice and that you have a deck of cards. For this particular activity, I left everything in the deck except for the jacks and the kings. I'm going to use the queens to represent tens, and I'm going to use the aces to represent ones. So let me show you a little bit about what we're going to do for this math activity. I'm calling this math activity Grab It. The way that you're going to work on Grab It is you're going to take your 2 dice and roll them. For this, I've rolled a 5 and a 6. Now, you can use the flexibility in these activities by choosing to have your child make the highest 2-digit number they could with that or the lowest 2-digit number they could with that. I'm going to go with making the lowest. So with a 5 and a 6, I'm going to make the number 56. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put out 10 of the cards. I'm just going to draw out the first 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm going to have it set so that they look like this out in front of me when I'm working. Okay, now my task is going to be to use the cards and math operations to help me get to the amount 56. Again, this is where you have your multi-level players coming in. If you have a younger mathematician, you might have them find a 5 and a 6 to make the same number, 56. If you have a mathematician that's a little bit older, say you have a 2nd grade mathematician, you might have them try to build 2 2-digit numbers that might help them get closer to 56. So how might that work? Well, what I might do here is with the amounts I have here, I am going to use my 3 and my 2 to build 32. So I'm going to use the 3 and the 2 to build 32. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to take my 2 and my 4 to build 24. And if you look at that, my 3 tens for 30 and my 2 tens for 20 would give me 50. Then I add my 2 and my 4 for 6. So I was able to come up with the amount 56. That's one way that you could do it. Another way that you could do it is you could have your mathematician work on multiple addends. So I might start with my 10. Who doesn't want to start with a 10? As a mathematician, building tens is an absolutely fantastic skill to have. So how am I going to get to 56? Well, lucky for me, I have a 10 on the board, so that gives me 10. Then I'm going to use my 6 and my 4, which gives me another 10. Now I'm up to 20. Now I'm going to use my 3 and my 7, which gives me another 10. Now I'm up to 30. Next up, I'm going to use my 9 and my 1. That's going to get me up to another 10 for 40. Then when I look at the board, I have a 5, a 2, and a 2. So that's going to give me 45, 47, 49. I'm not going to be able to get to my target amount of 56, but when you think about the math ability that was just worked on for that, it's fantastic. So your mathematician is working on not only understanding number quantity and the size of a number, they're also now working on multiple ways to build 10. Again, 10 is an absolutely fantastic skill to have as a mathematician. So while I wasn't able to actually get the amount 56, again, I'm doing lots of different practice. Another way to adjust it to a different a different leveled mathematician would be for me to, I'm going to start again with the 10. That's going to give me 10 right away. The next thing that I want to do is I'm going to take the 2 and the 9 and I'm going to multiply them. That's going to give me 18. And then I'm going to add 2 more. That's going to give me 20. 20 plus the 10 I already have gives me 30. The next thing that I'm going to do here is I am going to multiply, let's see, I'm going to multiply the 4 and the 5. That's going to give me 20. I had 30, I'm adding 20. That gives me 50. Now I just need to find 6, and boom, there it is. So again, a multi-level activity where mathematicians can be practicing lots of number sense while they're still having a good time. If you want to make the activity a little bit more competitive, maybe your family's like mine, we really, really, really enjoy a competitive activity, no matter what it's related to. You could have the cards out in front and have mathematicians seeing who can grab them the fastest. Don't want to do it that way, want to keep it at a lower pace, want to keep it as a little bit less of a stressful math activity. If that's how your family works on things, that's fine too. Just have one player take a turn, have another player take a turn. My number one suggestion for you is going to be to make both or all mathematicians work with the same amount first and the same amount of 10 cards that you drew out that first time. That way you have a fantastic opportunity to see all the different ways those amounts could be built. Once you've finished and all mathematicians have had an opportunity to work with the amount 56, take those cards, put them back into the deck, go ahead, roll again, and start the activity all over again. Happy mathing!